Hi everybody, I'm outside today. I hope the internet stays with me, and I apologize if you hear the AC next to me, but I thought this was a nice beautiful day to be outside, to be in my garden and talk about some stories of my past that I experienced. First of all, I hope all of you are doing well, and those of you who live in the US, happy 4th of July. I hope you all have a safe and joyful weekend since it's our holiday. And I want to thank you all for, being my biggest support and, you know, just being my friend. I have to thank you because we have to. We have to thank each other through these difficult times we are going through. Life is changing, the world is changing, and we have to support each other. So I want to express my gratitude for all of your support. And if you're watching this live, write down live or replay and let me know that you have seen this video. So let me start. So, I've been focusing a lot on social media, posting a lot of reels of different things. I like to experiment. I'm a creative person, so I've been experimenting with a lot of reels. And recently I reposted a reel I did last year where I climbed this really tall wooden structure at Hold'em Arboretum, if anyone knows that, in Kirtland, Ohio. And I loved creating it. It was a fun experience. Plus, it was a challenge for me because I have such a great fear of heights, which also connects to a fear of flying, but that's a whole different story. So I reposted it here, and I reposted it on my new YouTube, Mind Your Words podcast. If you haven't followed me there, please add me on YouTube. But this particular reel went viral on YouTube. It had like over 2,000 views, which is huge for me. And I had one comment, and you can imagine being on the internet what that comment could have been. So it was a simple sentence, and the person wrote, "Congratulations on getting over your fear of stairs?" Question mark. And I don't, people write it in such a way that you don't know if it's a compliment, you don't know if they are being sarcastic. So naturally, I wanted to respond to that and explain to them, and like, yeah, it was a big deal for me having to climb this wooden structure with a big fear of heights with see-through stairs. Yeah, it was a big thing. So I wrote a whole thing and I submitted it. And then I looked at it again and I was like, okay, I need to delete. So I deleted my message and I deleted their comment, because I realized that I was explaining myself to a total stranger, and I don't know them. I don't know what was their purpose, but I don't know why I needed to explain to them how it was a big accomplishment for me. And it brought back a whole flood of memories, And I posted about my fish, and my fish, no matter how simple it was to talk about it, it was a significant moment in my life, and it still affects me every day. And every time I tell this story, I have told this story millions of times. And if you have traumatic past, you tell your story as many times, and you go through, it's very interesting experience because you go through many emotions. Sometimes I joke about it, I laugh about it, and and I'm a joker, I'm a big comedian, so I make fun of the situation. Other times I cry because it was so traumatic for me. And really a, a, a real test. It was a real test for me. So I don't know how I will react. I might cry. I might laugh. I may cry. I may be astonished because it's really unbelievable what I went through. So going back to that comment, it made me realize, it's so easy to get back to old habits. Even now, as a coach, as a mentor, as a teacher, I have to remind myself that you need to protect your boundaries, and you don't need to express and explain yourself to others. You don't need to do that. And that's the whole reason why I decided to create this boot camp, to help you remind yourself that you don't have to explain yourself to others. And you are strong, you are powerful as you are. But we'll get more to that in a moment. So yeah, so that brought me back to that time in 2011. I was a new teacher. I was teaching in Europe. And then I was struggling. I had major struggle. First, I was adjusting from my good old country life here in Ohio to a city life in Europe where I didn't know anybody. And I was trying a new career, becoming a teacher, which I was totally scared of because being a dyslexic, I had to really work hard as an English teacher not to make mistakes. And I was so afraid that I will get called out. So my first year as a teacher was horrible. But luckily I had a very supportive boss. But it didn't mean that I didn't pay the consequences of failing. And at that time, I had a boyfriend who was quite narcissistic. So besides I was not having strong confidence in myself because I was struggling at work, I didn't have a support at that moment. Besides my family, I didn't have anyone else except my boyfriend, who constantly had me explain myself to him about everything. My thoughts, my actions, everything. And he would put me down. You know, I would explain to him my struggles. And he's like, well, it's not that bad. I had it worse. I bet most of you felt that. I'm sure most of you have met someone who said, it's not a big problem. Why are you complaining about it? Not a big deal. Comment below if you know if that happened to you, that someone put down your trauma, your experience. So I was dealing with that. I was spending my free time, my energy, explaining to someone about me. And trying to explain everything. And at that low period, I felt like I was in a spiritual warfare. Because suddenly this attracted all kinds of people towards me who didn't have good intention. And I can go through all the stories, but I won't bore you today. But I went through it. I went through it all. I've been with someone who was an alcoholic, who assaulted me, someone who stalked me and threatened to kick me out of the country, who contacted my family without my permission and demanded money because they said I took their time and money. Yeah, I've been stalked. I've been blackmailed. You know, I've been manipulated almost all of my savings. And so much more. So I've been through it. I know how it goes. So the whole purpose here is to motorcycle. So the whole reason why I decided to create, wait a moment, live videos. Okay. So the whole reason why I started to create this boot camp, it's not just those who are going through it. It's those who experience it and not want to re-experience it. Because in reality, we live in a world where we're going to work with people who don't understand us. We're going to work with people who put us down. No matter how strong your boundaries are, no matter how strong you are, you're going to meet somebody who's going to test your limit. It's guaranteed. You're going to be tested. And in this world where the bullies, those who think they are better than anybody else, are going to come out and test your limits. And we have to be prepared for that. So, as your general, I always wanted to be a general. I wanted to be in a military general, but I'm going to be a general here, a different war. The war of your spiritual, bringing up your strength. Because this world is changing, and it's going to challenge all of us. All of our values, all of our strength, everything. So the boot camp, which I'm going to be describing in the next few weeks, I'm going to talk about different themes here. But I'm here to help you find a way to strengthen yourself, to be confident with yourself, and to be able to speak up for yourself. This is to save you from the destruction. And I want you to reach out to me. So if you are watching and any of these stories resonates with you, if you had experience, I want to hear it. Let's talk about our experiences. Let's talk about our experiences with narcissistic people. Let's talk about our experiences with those who manipulate. So please reach out to me. Tell me your story. I will tell you the story. I can tell you, I didn't tell you. I had another experience. The same people, when I was abroad, accused me of being a spy. Can you imagine someone accusing you as a spy who has connection to the government? And I'm sure, I have a theory about it, but I was alone I felt like I was in a B-rated movie. You can imagine. But I was alone dealing with that. And I didn't tell anybody what I was going through because they would think I was crazy. But I didn't know I was surrounded by crazy people. So, yeah, I've been through it. I've been through the ringer. You would not see that on me. I don't carry it on my body. I don't carry it in my attitude. I'm the same person as I was before all of my experiences, all the bad things that have happened to me. I don't carry it with me because I know who I am. And I express that to others. I don't express my experiences on other people. So please, if you've been through it, if you want to go through some exercises, some reminders to bring yourself up, I recommend that you sign up for my bootcamp. Right now, we are signing up for free access and other things that I'll be coming out later this month. So if you haven't signed up for the bootcamp, it's free. All you will get is information and free access to certain parts of my program. And the link is here on the live. I hope you would join me. Thank you everyone for watching, and yeah, don't forget to message me. I wish you all a great day. Thanks so much.